Get 3 months of local news for just 99 cents a month. You'll get unlimited access to the news you need to stay engaged and connected to your community. Visit duluthnewstribune.com/subscribe now to get 3 months of local news for only 99 cents a month.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Tuesday, January 17th. I'm Wyatt Buckner with your Duluth News Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
Now, here's a look at today's headlines. Monday's Martin Luther King Jr. Day March, organized by the Duluth chapter of the NAACP, traversed icy hillside and downtown streets from the Washington Center to the Duluth Entertainment Convention Center. Singing and chanting the whole way, marchers paused only for the Minnesota Adult and Teen Challenge Choir, which sang Amazing Grace from the corner of 2nd Street and Lake Avenue as the crowd passed. Once at the Dex Symphony Hall, speakers followed the theme of the day's events, Keep Moving Forward. It's a quote from King's 1967 speech, What is Your Life's Blueprint? Quote, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. End quote. The Reverend Anthony Galloway, pastor of St. Mark African Methodist Episcopal Church in Duluth, urged attendees to remember King for everything he stood for and, quote, not just the stuff that makes us feel good, end quote, he said. Galloway said people should see King as calling on others to take action and agitate, even if it is uncomfortable. Classy Dudley, president of the Duluth chapter of the NAACP, echoed that. She encouraged people to challenge the status quo and work toward, quote, people-first policy, end quote, and away from racist policy by vetting political candidates and speaking up at council meetings and school board meetings. And now for something a little different, here's Dan Williamson with a special guest.
Thanks, Wyatt. I'm here with one of our colleagues, Duluth News Tribune arts and entertainment reporter Jay Gabler. He has a story that you'll be able to see in Wednesday's print edition of the Duluth News Tribune, as well as online prior. Jay, you had an opportunity to spend some time with some exotic cats. Tell us a little more.
Very exotic, very big, very numerous, and right here in the Northland, Dan. I think a lot of people don't even know that this place exists. It's called the Wildcat Sanctuary, and it's in Sandstone. I can't tell you even exactly where because they keep the exact location a secret so people don't just come gawking at the cats, because the emphasis here is sanctuary. This is a place for these cats, many of whom experienced trauma and have had kind of tough lives, to just really peacefully live their lives and be safe and happy.
What was your biggest takeaway from this story?
Well, my biggest takeaway is that the 4 lion cubs that we went down to see are thriving. These are 4 lion cubs who were rescued from Ukraine during the ongoing Russian invasion. Life there is disrupted, including the pet market. And yes, it is perfectly legal to own lions in Ukraine. And these were lions that were in the trade there, and the people who had them couldn't keep them, and so they ended up going to Poland, and the woman who runs the Wildcat Sanctuary here in Northland ended up flying to Poland to pick up these 4 lion cubs and bringing them back here to Minnesota, where they are living very happy lives.
Let's listen to some audio from the founder of the Wildcat Sanctuary, Tammy Thies.
Took about 4 months for all the paperwork, the logistics to take place to get these guys on their 7,000-mile trip from Odessa to Kyiv to Poznan to Chicago to Sandstone, Minnesota. Out of all the rescues we've done, a lot of times there's an adjustment period, there's an acclimation to temperature, especially if we rescue when they've been abused or mistreated by people. It's really hard to get them to accept people again. Not the case. These cubs had no idea that they were in a war zone, had no idea about the travel. They just know they were cared for by a wonderful rescue team and veterinarian until they could get here. And they've been some of the easiest rescues we've had. They enjoy life to the fullest.
I was also just really impressed with the whole scope of the operation. It's really big, professional, seems very well run, seems very healthy circumstances for these animals. And I think when people think of sanctuaries. I think they just hear, oh, a place where there are a lot of lions and tigers and bobcats, and their mind might go to Tiger King, right? And there was that Netflix documentary that a lot of people saw, or a lot of people have heard of Joe Exotic, the now incarcerated guy who ran that tiger facility, sort of a private zoo, and they think, oh boy, this seems really dangerous, bad, off-putting, bad for the animals. But this is a very different kind of proposition. This is not open to the public. It's not even a zoo, although they work with accredited zoos like the Lake Superior Zoo and support the work they do. But this is really just a place where these big cats, like the 4 lions from Ukraine, can go to be safe.
What do you hope our audience takes away from this story?
For me, this was an example of just yet another of the amazing places that we have here in the Northland. I feel like there are so many stories where I go and I tell people and they might kind of laugh or say, whoa, or think, that's going to be crazy. And then you get there and you realize, wow, this is actually just a very, sincere, well-run operation that in my personal opinion, we should be proud and happy to have here right in our region of Minnesota.
Well, Jay, we appreciate your time. Again, you can find this story in Wednesday's print edition of the Duluth News Tribune as well as online prior. Wyatt, back to you.
Thanks, Dan. Now here's a look at your forecast brought to you by the Women Today 6th Annual Rosie Awards.
Duluth weather forecast for today. Snow gradually diminishing during the course of the morning. A few leftover flurries this afternoon. Temperatures right around 33 during the afternoon, so it's going to be a slushy, sloppy day. North winds around 10 to 15, gusts as high as 20. For tonight, trending a little colder, mostly cloudy skies with temps dropping into the teens. Highs will be in the 20s on Wednesday. And then there'll be another chance for light snow, looking fairly likely. Coming in on Thursday, not much accumulation is expected. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist John Wheeler.
Thank you to the Rosie Awards for their support. Northland women are a driving force in our community. They are advocates, mentors, volunteers, and leaders. Nominate a special woman you think deserves to be recognized at thewomantoday.com or by email at dearrosie@thewomantoday.com. Nominations are now open and continue through January 31st. Reporting for today's episode was done by Jimmy Lovren and Jay Gabler. Thank you for listening to Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.